It's good to be busy. Why? Well, it's just good all around. What do we want? Well, what we want must be given in one form or fashion. You could say, well, I was an entrepreneur and I made my millions. I made them myself. Yeah, well, people had to give you money for you to do your service. And that's the element that I would like to highlight. Is the giving aspect that only comes from one source. I would like to say a reverent one, or one that one would like to be reverent to, but it is something greater than you or I. That thing being just what is, man. What is, what was, what will be, what will come to be. It's so massive. If we could see just how massive it was, would that change our perspective? If we could see all the things floating around above our head, would that change our perspective? Because I think that we can't deny that something does exist where one could hide. It's like there's a perfectly good hiding spot. Something is already filling every other space, right? Always got something filling the space. And you find a hiding spot. Well, surely there's something filling that space. We can't find it. We can't see it. It's not observable to us. That's why it's a perfectly good hiding spot. Existing beyond what we could know. That means the limitless nature of our universe is a reflection of the limitless nature of nature. Of the collective that is the machine running it all. And greater than that. See, even that is just one piece of the pie, one layer on the board. Because if we can't see inside the hiding spot, how do we know really how big it is? We could say, it's small because I don't see it. It must be small. It's like, that's an arrogant approach. That's just being arrogant. You're refusing to observe something or question something or theorize something just simply because you can't see it. And you think that you're so high and mighty that you should know everything. It's like it creates a fallacy of one's entire character at that point, because it's like you really think that you're that fucking great. How could I know more than I know? Or we know. Say everyone's a genius out there. All those scientists, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye the Science Guy. I don't know who else is reputable in the science community, but there's a lot of people with a lot of different ideologies, and at a lot of different levels. But I think that we disregard the notion of questioning which appears to me to be highly unscientific. If you ask me, it doesn't sound too scientific to me. But let's get back to the point. Why should we stay busy? Why is it good to be busy? Because it gives us an opportunity to give back to the one that's giving us the day. Staying busy, creating. And I'm, really talking about a wide range of things. It could be anything. Could be maintaining a building in any kind of way, painting it, sealing it, putting a ceiling on it, whatever. Even things that help other systems in play, like businesses. Doing accounting for a business plays a major role in that business's existence and longevity potentially. And so the opportunity is there to do good to the system that is the whole, because we're all a part of that system, especially large companies. You kidding me? How much ground they cover? They affect the world quite a bit. For good or for bad. That's an important point not to miss. And I think maybe an exception that I think is still productive, but maybe it would be difficult to quantify, is the production of art and being creative. The creative arts. If you put on a play and it moves you, it's like, how do you account for that? The emotional weights. You think we're just crying to ourselves in a vacuum? No, man. We're all connected. We feel each other. I want to say we feed off of each other. I don't know if that's true or how true that is. But even we feel, we can have a sense, we can read the room. But we have a sense of the emotional weight. The beyond of what can be seen of emotions. We observe them, but we do not necessarily observe. It's not so easily scientifically observable. We observe them, yet it is not so scientifically observable. But getting back to the point, the reason to stay busy is because it's investing in your future, who you're going to be. Potentially better days ahead. You have a certain day that, right now might not be the most ideal, and you want a better day. It's important to recognize what gives that day, who gives that day. But I think it's an interesting thing to question. The mind of it all. To say that it has one. That what is, what was, what is, and what will come to be has one as a collective, to say that it has the mind of a human in some aspect. Well, who else? Who else but a human can have that perspective? Even though it's not impossible for a human to be able to observe the entire creation of the cosmos from beginning to end. Not possible. But we can say that we are able to observe this unlike any other animal. And I think that there's also some important distinctions to make between humans and animals. It seems to me that animals know how to be from the beginning. But humans, it's like we don't know anything. We know how to be bad humans from the beginning. We're like manipulating our parents and like trying to get the candy and, just we're bad human beings. But it's important to, quantify, but define what being a good human being is and compare it to what being a good dog is, being a good cat, being a good pig, being a good dolphin, being a good lion, Would you be a good human if you rolled on the ground like a monkey or ran like a lion, or did those savage things? No, they would call you a savage. A savage human being, not a human being. See, because man has the capability to stand up, gives him the unique, not just opportunity, but, the opportunity that is to be the next line. What does that mean, the next line? The next line of what? The next line of what is. We were made in God's image. And we are a collective. Still haven't defined what God is, or that. I guess I'm all over the place. What I do want to interject and say is that the reason why it implies what it is. Like the reason why God has a consciousness is because that's what it has. Like it was all designed consciously in some sort of way. Everything works together. Things are perfect, man. Some things are just perfect. Like the way that the sun and the moon lines up. Yeah. I feel like many people have observed things in their life just going perfectly according to plan. Or anything like that. But it is an indicator that there is some level of consciousness going into the creation of it all. And so there I can begin to make an argument as to why God has a consciousness. But God does. That you may need to take my word on or do your own research or whatever you want to do on, but that's what I will say. God has a consciousness. And if you're looking for the answers, you'll find that. See, I feel like most people aren't looking for the answers, but I don't want to get into turn this negative. It's good to be busy because we want better days ahead. That's the simple way of putting it. But there's so much more behind it. That's all I wanted to say.